All right, let's talk about taking your drone skills to the next level. I mean, way beyond just flying on a sunny afternoon. Have you ever dreamed of getting those incredible shots of city lights after dark? Or maybe using your drone for something serious, like inspecting a cell tower way out on a ridge? Well, today, we're diving into exactly that. We're going to break down the rules and the gear you absolutely need for advanced stuff like flying at night and beyond visual line of sight. So, you've probably gotten really good at flying during the day, right? You can see your drone, you know where it is, no problem. But what happens when the sun dips below the horizon? Or when the job takes you over the next hill where you can't see your aircraft anymore? That's the big question, isn't it? Let's get into what it really takes to fly safely at night or beyond what your own two eyes can see. Okay, first up, let's tackle our first big challenge, conquering the dark. Flying at night is, well, it's just awesome. You can get some absolutely stunning footage. But, and this is a big but, it's a whole different ballgame. It comes with a completely new set of challenges and risks that you have to master. And the difference between flying in the day versus at night? Well, it's night and day, literally. During the daytime, you can easily spot things like power lines or a straight tree branch. No sweat. But at night, those same obstacles basically become invisible. And here's something really important to remember. A lot of the fancy onboard sensors, the vision systems that keep your drone from crashing, they might just stop working in the dark. Poof, your biggest safety net is gone. And that really gets to the heart of the problem. At night, you lose your number one safety tool, your own eyes. Think about it. It becomes so much harder to tell how far away the drone is, which way it's pointing, what its attitude is. And that's exactly why all these specific rules and equipment requirements exist. They're there to compensate for what your eyes just can't do in the dark. So how do we actually do this safely? What's the gear you need? Well, first things first, your drone has to have lights. The regulations, and we're looking at the Japanese rules as our guide here, call them toka. These lights have to be bright enough so you can tell the drone's attitude and direction just by looking up from the ground. Now, there is one exception. If you're flying in an area that's already super well lit, think like a football stadium, you might not need the onboard lights. Also, and this is a big one, it's highly recommended, I'd say almost essential, to have a transmitter with a screen that shows you all that key data, position, altitude, speed. It's like having a digital set of eyes when your real ones are struggling. All right, ready for the next level? Because this is where things get really interesting. We're talking about flying beyond visual line of sight, or BVLOS. This is an absolute game changer, especially for commercial operations. But you guessed it, it also ramps up the safety stakes in a major way.
So, what does BVLOS actually mean? The official term you'll see in the regulations is Mokushigai Hiko, which is pretty much a direct translation, outside visual range flight. It's any flight where you, the pilot, cannot physically see the drone and its surroundings with your own eyes. And listen up, because this part is super important. If you're flying by only looking at your camera feed on a screen, FPV style, that counts as BVLOS. The rule is your eyes have to be on the actual aircraft. Okay, so when it comes to the gear you need for BVLOS, everything, and I mean everything, hinges on one single question. Are you using a human observer? Because your answer to that question completely changes the entire list of requirements you've got to meet. Think of this as a fork in the road for BVLOS flying. On one path, you've got an assistant, an observer who is basically your second set of eyes on the sky, constantly scanning the area for you. On the other path, you're on your own, and that means technology has to do all the work. It has to be your eyes, your ears, everything. And as you can imagine, that means a huge leap in the kind of tech you're going to need. Okay, so let's take that first path, flying with an observer. The regulations call this Hojosha Ari. Here's the deal. You need three main things. Number one, you need an autopilot system with a camera so you can see what the drone sees in real time. Number two, you need a ground station to watch that camera feed and keep an eye on all the vitals, position, speed, system status. And number three, this is non-negotiable. Your drone has to have rock-solid fail-safe functions. So what are these fail-safes? The official term is Kiki Kaihi Kino, which translates to something like crisis aversion functions. And that's exactly what they are. Your drone's plan B when things go wrong. For example, what if you lose the signal from your controller? The drone has to be smart enough to automatically fly back to its takeoff spot. What if it loses its GPS lock? It needs to be able to just hover in place or land safely without wandering off. And the battery, it needs to have protections built in to prevent the worst-case scenario, like smoke or a fire. Now for that second path, flying without an observer, or Hoja Shanashi.
This is where the tech requirements really jump up. We're talking about a serious upgrade. Your drone needs to be highly visible, so think special lights or paint, so that planes and helicopters can see it. It needs its own onboard system for monitoring the airspace, cameras on the drone or on the ground that are constantly looking for other aircraft. The manufacturer also has to certify that the drone is designed to be safe around people. And your ground station? It's got to be smarter too, tracking things like the weather and warning you immediately if the drone strays from its pre-planned route. So when you boil it all down, all this gear, all these regulations, it all points back to one single thing: you. It's about your responsibility as the pilot in command to make sure every single flight is a safe one.
Look, it's so easy to see these rules as just a checklist you have to tick off, but there's so much more than that. This stuff is the absolute bedrock of safe, advanced drone flying. And more than that, it's how we, as a community of pilots, earn the public's trust. It's how we prove that this technology belongs in our skies. So don't think of these rules as barriers holding you back. They're the opposite. They're the keys that will unlock the full, mind-blowing potential of drones for everything from package delivery to search and rescue. The only real question left is, are you prepared to step up? Are you ready to meet these standards and help build that future of safe skies? That's it for now. Thanks for joining me, and fly safe out there.